Hey everybody, Ben Frederickson here alongside Jeff Gordon for this week's Inside Pitch. We had Fred Bird buried, Gordo. He's still in the casket, but now he's on his feet. The Cardinals have won 8 of their last 10 games. They've won 5 in a row at the time we're recording this. They should scrap their plans to sell and go be buyers at the deadline and chase that World Series, right? Wrong.
No, too late.
No. I think that John Mozeliak joked when he said if the team won 8 games in a row, then maybe they would consider doing something different. We'll see if they can do that, but the point is they're still 10 games back in the standings, and they still have a looming pitching crisis for 2024. Now, it's good news that the Cardinals are pitching a little bit better from that rotation now. Why they didn't earlier in this season remains the mystery, and I think it's proving the point. This is a good team, Gordo, but it's a team that has been pushed to the brink of having to punt on 2023 because of the pitching, and that's not going to get any better for 2024 unless they start to get a jump start on it at this trade deadline.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get, I think, some future pitching, near-term future pitching by trading pitching. It seems counterintuitive. You need pitching.
Explain that, because I hear a lot from Cardinals fans who go, they need pitching. Why would they trade Jordan Montgomery and Jack Flaherty? Look at the contract.
Yeah, expiring contracts. You know, Jordan Montgomery surely wants to test free agency. I would imagine Jack Flaherty does as well. I'm not sure. Our friend Benjamin Hockman suggests $20 million on a qualifying offer could make some sense for Jack. He might still want more. And so you're looking, realistically, if you get really good offers for these two guys, you're going to have to take them. Now, that really good offer might be guys that are AAA pitchers. That doesn't necessarily solve your problem next year, but it does help the organization build up some arms, which it needs to do. There's still going to be other work to do as far as the pitching goes. I'd say the immediate thing I do is trade Paul DeJong. There are going to be teams that need Paul DeJong to help them down the stretch, and Mason Wynn's ready to play. You know, that's one thing you can do for sure. Offer the other two pitchers, maybe Hicks as well, see what you get. But then, Ben, Fred, the winter and the trades and the free agency, and oh my, that's going to be a challenge.
It sure sounds like the Cardinals are going to have to come to the realization, it sounds like they're on that path of they're going to have to pay a lot for some key starting pitching. And they're also changing how they're evaluating starting pitching. They need more strikeouts. They need more high-velocity stuff. They need more swing and miss. And that doesn't mean you have to abandon trying to get ground balls. Look at Miami. They do both. But the Cardinals are one of the worst 5 teams in strike percentage, swing and miss percentage in baseball. And if you look at the other teams that are down there, they're not any teams that are talking about being trade deadline buyers. They're bad baseball teams. That's something the Cardinals need to try to reinforce, and it's expensive because that's what a lot of teams want. There are guys across baseball who are young, who were in AAA last year, who are helping rotations now, and those are the kind of guys the Cardinals are going to have to try to target at the trade deadline. And they're also not going to be able to answer all of their questions at the trade deadline.
Right.
There are some obvious trade candidates that will maybe give various returns. Tyler O'Neill doesn't seem like he has a future on this team anymore. Paul DeJong has a costly option upcoming unless the Cardinals move on from him and try to get something for him in a trade. We talked about the pitchers on the expiring contracts, Jordan Montgomery, Jack Flaherty. Beyond that, are there other players you would consider moving? I'd be hesitant to try to take too much away from this offense, which is showing to be one of the best in the National League, but is Dylan Carlson in that group? I think if you got a compelling offer for Dylan Carlson, this was kind of supposed to be the year that he locked it in. And I don't want to see him traded, but I want to see him, I would see him traded before a Lars Nootbaar, who hasn't had as many opportunities and has done some good things, or a Brendan Donovan. I think Carlson would be in that group where if you get an offer that you feel like helps your pitching, you pull the trigger. Yeah,
I think Donovan, Ollie loves him, and for good reason. He exit velocity upgraded, launch angle upgraded. The guy plays everywhere. Keeper. I'm still on the Lars Nootbaar bandwagon. Dylan, if you keep him, he's your 4th outfielder. And maybe even if Tommy Edmonds ends up playing center field, or in the middle of next year, Victor Scott's your guy because he's a speedy guy who's stealing bases and now hitting in Double-A. I mean, so yeah, you hate to see them trade him to a team that immediately gets him to be a 25 home run hitter. It's happened before to the Cardinals. It may happen again, but at some point something has to give. And he's going to give you more, I think, value in the trade market than, say, Alec Burleson, who's coming on and demonstrating some real value, but again, doesn't have the glove or the versatility in the outfield.
What about the relievers? Because Hicks has really shown kind of a vigor in that closer role. He likes it. He's performing. I give the Cardinals credit. I thought he could have gotten DFA'd. He didn't. They stuck with him, and he's really taken to it. He's on an expiring contract, so if you're not going to trade him, and relievers who throw hard and get strikeouts and throw hard strikes are at a value at the trade deadline. If you're not going to trade him, you should probably extend him and make him your closer and say we've got our ninth figured out. But if you're going to so you have to do one of the two there,
right?
Or you have to trade them both, and I mean both him and Ryan Helsley. I would be okay with trading Ryan Helsley because I think he's going to have more value. He's got the extra year of control. I think this bullpen has been better when they've had some certainty. If the Cardinals made the decision to extend Jordan Hicks, who has already said he wants to be here, and trade Ryan Helsley, I got no problem with that. I think it might actually net them the best in return and make them still competitive somewhat in their bullpen in 2024 without needing other help as well.
Yeah, they've got to get better at finding relievers. Other teams have done a great job of that. The Cardinals, not so much. And yeah, some of it's spending money. Some of it's just being smarter than they've been, frankly, and assessing people.
Hicks maybe sticks around. We'll see. If not, trade them both and try to get some arms for the future. You are going to have to trade pitching to get pitching. We know that's the case for the Cardinals, no matter how many games in a win they row here, when they win in a row here before the trade deadline. For Jeff Gordon, I'm Ben Frederickson. We'll talk to you next time here at STLtoday.com.